There are a lot of books, movies, shows, and songs that I have resonated with on a deeper level. But Nana, Nana is the only one that I had such a visceral reaction to that I had to turn it off and spoil it for my own health. And yet, I still love it. Nana the Anime is a 2006 series based on a 2000 manga written by Ai Yazawa. And I bring up the manga because Nana is unfinished and on an indefinite hiatus. So if you want more of the story, you're gonna have to pick up the manga. Nana follows two women, both named Nana, as they transition into adulthood. Mild spoiler, the transition is not smooth at all as they grapple with personal growth, budding fame, and turbulent relationships. My friend Dayla recommended Nana to me years before I actually watched it. And by the time I sat down to finally start Nana, it was 3 months after I graduated college, a month after I turned 22, and 2 weeks after I moved to a different state. So I was in a very big transition period of my life, and Nana pretty much hit every sore spot imaginable. I was developing stomach pains and dizziness from the stress I experienced watching Nana. And the friends I've spoken to have had similarly strong reactions. Maybe not that strong because I'm dramatic, but they were with Nana too.
You scumbags. Instead of trampling through other people's gardens, go make your own flowers bloom.
Today's lecture is about why I think everyone, especially women, should watch Nana, even though it made my stomach hurt. The two protagonists of Nana, Nana Osaki and Nana Hachiko Komatsu, seem like natural opposites at first, but they are really reflections of each other.
I don't want to be a housewife making dinner waiting for him to come home and complete my sad little existence. He'll never see me doing that. I would rather die.
Nana Osaki is the lead singer of an up-and-coming punk rock band called the Blackstones, which is often shortened to Blast. Nana initially appears to be scary and abrasive, and this is further emphasized by her punk style. But as the series progresses, we learn that Nana's cold demeanor is likely a product of the trauma she experienced earlier in life. She was abandoned by her mother and raised by a strict grandmother that didn't offer a lot of affection and brainwashed Nana with skewed beliefs about respectability. Nana O rejects traditional femininity, and this is demonstrated when she refuses to follow her boyfriend Rin when he moves to Tokyo to join the band Trapness. Nana O also insists on using birth control when having sex because an unexpected pregnancy would impede upon her dreams. Nana Osaki encapsulates the struggle a lot of women have, which is the struggle to reconcile society's expectations for a woman with her own ambitions.
Why does nothing ever go right for me? Even my name brings me bad luck. Nana means 7, and 7 is the number that appears in Nostradamus' prophecies as a bad omen, so it's no wonder I'm cursed.
Nana Hachiko Komatsu, on the other hand, is a bubbly, dramatic, and naive woman. She grew up comfortable but somewhat sheltered in a small town. In my opinion, Hachi suffers from middle child syndrome. Her older sister is successful and her younger sister seems to be a problem child. As a result, she didn't get the attention she needed from her parents growing up, which is why she grows quickly attached to others and constantly seeks male validation. But more on that later. Hachi is a hopeless romantic that falls in love several times throughout the series. Nana K doesn't mind performing traditional femininity, which is evidenced by the fact that she has a cutesy style And she has a lot of pride in her domestic abilities. And to be clear, I don't think that there's anything wrong with these desires to perform traditional femininity. But Hachi's story shows us that even women who do perform femininity correctly still often lose, revealing that women can't really win living in a patriarchal society.
This girl doesn't have a clue about manners, but I hope you'll take pity on her.
And the same goes for this one.
So for the rest of this video, I'm going to be exploring the themes of Nana that were most impactful to me and explain why my stomach was hurting so bad when I was watching. First up, let's talk about homoerotic friendships. Homoerotic friendships are very intense and intimate friendships between people of the same sex. They are plagued by possessiveness that mirrors romantic relationships, and they often end dramatically and painfully because the expectations of the friendship are expectations that are more appropriate for a romantic connection. And I want to be clear, a deep, intimate friendship is not equal to a homoerotic friendship. The defining feature of a homoerotic friendship is the romantic or sexual desire from one or all parties, whether that desire is fully realized or not. I bring it up because Nana-O and Hachi's relationship is definitely homoerotic.
We'll make this a night you'll never forget.
There is a lot of queer subtext in the relationship between the Nanas. Nana-O is often accused of being a lesbian because of her aesthetic. She's very protective and possessive of Hachi, having expressed the desire for Hachi to be hers on several occasions. At another point, Nana-O even compares her feelings for Hachi to those of a teenage boy falling in love for the first time. But surprisingly, the boy-crazy Hachi gives us most of the queer subtext, probably because the story is mostly told from her perspective. From the moment they first meet, Hachi is infatuated with Nana-O. She finds her attractive and admires her style. When a diehard fan from Nana-O's hometown, Misato, comes to Tokyo and begins spending more time with Blast, Hachi is initially jealous of Misato's familiarity and closeness with Nana-O. But the icing on the queer cake is that Hachi admits on several occasions that Nana-O would be her perfect boyfriend. At multiple points throughout the series, she fantasizes about what it would be like if she and Nana-O were lovers. Hachi girl, it's okay. Hashtag be yourself. Hashtag live your truth. Hashtag
Thank you, Hachiko.
I think women tend to fall into these kinds of homoerotic relationships more often than men. It could be because women are dissatisfied with the emotional connections they form with men, and they overcompensate in their close female friendships. It could be because the way we, as women, are socialized to be more forthcoming with affection and emotional intimacy. It could be because sexuality is a spectrum, and a lot of women struggle with compulsory heterosexuality, which prevents them from fully realizing and expressing their true sexuality. For the sake of this video, y'all are gonna get some Brie lore, and I'm gonna be talking about my experience with comp het, and I actually didn't realize I had this experience until I wrote the script for this video. But for context, I am attracted to men, women, and anybody that checks the right boxes. I knew that I wasn't completely straight from a young age, but I didn't really give my attraction to women much thought until I was in college. The reason being, I still liked men enough, and it was so much easier for me to be with a man. And the reason why it was so much easier for me as a woman to be with a man is because of comp het. It was just expected of me. I grew up being asked about boyfriends, and now I'm getting asked about marriage and children. Mind you, I'm 23, single, and I've made it very clear to my family that I do not want kids. But that's another topic about what it means to be a woman. We're not gonna go into that right now. Anyways, between my religious upbringing and comp het, dating men was just easier. But dating men was too easy because I was being intimate with men that I didn't truly like. And for a while, I felt shitty about myself every time I had sex. I don't remember what my final straw was, but eventually I sat down and embraced something I had already known for years. And that's when I came out. Since then, my romantic pursuits, while unsuccessful, have at least been more intentional. Male validation is approval from men. It sounds simple enough, but this shows up in several seemingly innocuous ways because we live in a society that values men's opinions over others. In a patriarchal society, male validation can feel like salvation. Keywords: feel like. Hachi's relationships are a cautionary tale about the dangers of living for male validation.
Diet?
Yeah, I think that's why I get a little dizzy sometimes.
I don't know why you think you need to diet. You're cute just as you are.
I'm cute?
At the beginning of the series, Hachi doesn't have a clue what she wants to do with her life, aside from being in a relationship. And while it's okay to desire a relationship, Hachi's overemphasis on making herself desirable distracted her from doing things that will help her later on in life, like learning how to budget, learning how to live on her own, or even how to manage her own emotions. Hachi impulsively moves to Tokyo to be with her boyfriend, Shoji. But she didn't have a real plan. She just quit her job and abruptly left home. And then she told her parents to send her boxes. Like, girl, hello? And mind you, Shoji had just gotten into university, so he wasn't in a position to take care of Hachi. When he reasonably pushed her to be independent, Hachi was left scrambling. Hachi's pursuit of romance impeded her from growing, causing her to repeat the same mistakes time and time again. And one day, she would make a mistake that changed the trajectory of the rest of her life.
He must think I'm a complete idiot and an easy lay. Maybe that's the kind of girl I am. With everything I've been through, I thought I'd become more cautious when it came to men. But nothing has changed since that summer when I was 17.
Takumi Ichinose was Hachi's celebrity crush. He is the basis of a band called Trap Nest, and Hachi actually ends up meeting him because of Blast's, y'all know what I'm trying to say, Blast's connection to Trap Nest. Takumi takes advantage of Hachi's crush and doting personality for sexual gratification. He stakes his claim on her, but offers little romance, intimacy, or emotional support in return. For Takumi, having Hachi at his beck and call is a boost to his ego. And from the beginning, Hachi is aware that hooking up with Takumi likely won't go anywhere or end well. And she hides the relationship from her friends. Even though she's dissatisfied with Takumi's behavior at times, she puts up with it because she thinks that Takumi is the only one who knows the real her. And that because he still sleeps with her, he is the only one that accepts the darker parts of herself. Whatever that means. In reality, this is an excuse that Hachi uses to continue sleeping with Takumi despite her better judgment. To be clear, compromising in a relationship is expected. Doing things to please your partner or partners, or even the gender you're attracted to, isn't pandering. It's just being mature. The problem comes when honesty and safety are sacrificed for validation, which is why male validation can be so harmful. In almost every relationship I've had with a man, I did things that I would not have otherwise done. Some of the things I did were trivial. Like in high school, I ended up doing my boyfriend's homework for a couple of weeks, and I only ever lied to my mom in relation to that specific boyfriend. Other things I did were not so trivial, like being reckless with who I had sex with and where I had sex, and breaking my own rule of getting tested between sexual partners. I ignored my better judgment because in the moment, the approval of the man I was with seemed more important. And in some cases, satisfying the man's desire was a prerequisite for my own safety. Luckily, now that I'm older, I recognize the danger of my actions, and I know that I was only behaving in that manner because I wanted to feel desired. The way Hachi behaves throughout Nana is exactly how I behaved from 18 to 20 years old. Her story is exactly how mine could have gone with a little less luck. So I have a lot of empathy for Hachi, and nobody can ever really make me hate her.
Maybe it's got something to do with the Demon Lord.
Shut up about that demon lord!
Trigger warning. This upcoming section will discuss grooming, abusive relationships, and sexual assault. Check the description and skip to the conclusion if these topics are sensitive to you. Even though Shoji is Hachi's first boyfriend, there was another man that heavily influenced Hachi's approach to relationships. In high school, Hachi began over-dieting in an attempt to make herself more desirable. One day, she fainted at a movie theater where she was helped by Takashi Asano, a married businessman in his 20s. The two start an affair that lasts until Takashi moves to Tokyo for work. Hachi is still hung up on the relationship at the time she meets Shoji because she believes she truly loved him. But there are two things wrong with this picture. One, they only ever met at hotels to have sex. Two, Hachi was a teenager at the time of this affair. She was groomed. Another character in Nana, Sheen, is also groomed and pimped out, but his story has a lot of layers, and I really think that that's one you should watch or read for yourself. Before the comments come in, I'm gonna preemptively say that I don't give a about the age of consent laws in Japan. I don't care if legally Hachi could have sex with Takashi. If the law is the only reason you think it's wrong to have sex with a child as an adult, then I don't care to hear any of your other opinions.
We met 2 or 3 times a month, and we always did the same thing. We'd go for a drive, and then we'd end up in a hotel room. We never went anywhere we might be seen together. And like a fool, I convinced myself that he was in love with me.
But let's focus on the event that caused everything to change, the pregnancy. Hachi finds out that she's pregnant after she breaks things off with Takumi and while she is dating Nobu. For context, Nobu is a member of Blast and a longtime friend of Nana-O. After finding out about the pregnancy, Hachi struggles to decide what to do on top of trying to hide her morning sickness. One night, Takumi comes to the apartment because Hachi hasn't been responding to his calls. While Hachi thought she had broke things off, Takumi thought that she was just throwing another one of her fits and she would come back around. And y'all, when I saw this vile man at her door, my stomach dropped. Takumi then pieces together that Hachi is pregnant and steals her phone, locks her out the room, and calls Nobu to reveal the pregnancy before Hachi even has a chance to say anything. He declares that he will take responsibility for the child and effectively shuts down any arguments. And now it looks like Hachi lied to Nobu and he has Hachi cornered. Takumi used the pregnancy to get Hachi back under his control. And if you thought that him taking responsibility for the baby was a good thing because, oh, he's manning up, he's gonna be a better person. You're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. In fact, Takumi gets worse after Hachi agrees to keep the baby and marry him. Takumi is a textbook abusive partner. He isolates Hachi from any support she has by controlling her social life and convincing Hachi that he is the only one that understands her. He uses hot and cold manipulative tactics to make Hachi feel like their relationship is okay. He controls the finances in the relationship and reminds her that she is broke anytime she thinks of leaving. He sexually assaults her when she behaves in a way that he disapproves of. And he does all of this while cheating on her. And while I'm on the subject, let me make it clear. No is no. It doesn't matter if that's your partner, your spouse, a hookup that y'all around for a while. If they say no, that's it. Full stop. I hate Takumi, and sadly, a lot of people have experienced or will experience a Takumi. According to the Center for Women's Health, 1 in 4 women, 1 in 7 men, and up to half of transgender and non-binary people will experience intimate partner violence in their lifetime. And intimate partner violence comes in many forms: physical abuse, sexual abuse, financial abuse, social abuse, emotional abuse, and more. And leaving an abusive relationship is extremely difficult, which is why I think it's important for everyone to be able to spot the signs of abuse early on. Takumi's behavior is deeply unsettling, but it's unfortunately realistic. Observing his behavior can be a powerful tool in identifying abuse, and it is imperative that everyone knows how to identify abuse.
Takumi? What are you doing? My phone. Hey. Takumi? Please don't tell Nobu!
Nana is like watching a car crash happen at 10 miles per hour. And for my metric friends, that's 16 kilometers per hour. The story is told by Hachi and Nana reflecting on their life living together. So from the beginning, I knew it was not going to be a happy ending, and yet I still got my feelings hurt. For time's sake, I limited today's lecture to the themes that impacted me the most, and they all happen to be related to Hachi because her experiences closely align with my own. But Nana also explores themes that I didn't even mention today, like infidelity, ambition, addiction, abandonment, prostitution, heartbreak, and more. If any of these resonate, please, please, please give Nana a watch. Just be prepared to have your heart ripped out of your chest. Aizawa once said, "I've always believed that even as times change, human emotions themselves don't change much." And I think Nana perfectly fits this quote, which is why it's still relevant despite being decades old and unfinished. With that being said, that is all for today's lecture. I hope I was able to convince you of Nana's impact. And until next time, class is dismissed.